Uber throttling exposed and how to beat it. What if I told you
Really?
Uber decides how much money you make? Not the passengers, not the market, but the Uber algorithm. It gives, it takes, and then sometimes it just stops. Do you ever feel like the Uber algorithm's giving you the silent treatment? Like, did I say something wrong to the Uber algorithm? Is Uber mad at me because I skipped
Are
one
you
of those
serious
$3
right
rides? Drivers call it ghost mode or shadow banned or Uber jail. I call it what it really is. Uber throttling exposed, and how to take control back from the Uber algorithm. And once you understand how this works, you'll exactly know why your app goes silent.
Welcome to Mastering the Rideshare Game.
This is episode 2. In part 1, where I showed you the jab hook technique, I showed you how to take short rides to make big earnings. But even if you play the Uber game correctly, the Uber algorithm can slow you down. Today, we're diving deep into something most drivers talk about during their bathroom breaks. Because if Uber found out, they would probably throttle the toilets on us also. How to stop Uber throttling, how it works, how to spot it, and how to fight back. If you've ever sat in your car and watched other drivers getting pings and rides and taking rides while your screen stays silent, my friends, this video is for you.
rideXserve.
What you're about to learn next could be the most profitable secret in rideshare driving. Honestly, I would charge for it, but Uber would take 75% of that. Here's what you will learn in today's video. What Uber throttling really is and how it affects every single rideshare driver without them even realizing it. How to tell if you are being throttled. The patterns, the signs the Uber algorithm has built within it to slow you down. Why Uber throttles drivers. The hidden logic behind Uber's algorithm and how it uses behavior control to protect its profits. How to beat Uber throttling. My top 9 strategies to break free, reset the system, and keep those rides coming. What this means for your daily strategy. How to plan your day. How to manage your energy and stay ahead of the Uber game. Summary and recap. What the experts and Uber tubers and what the rideshare community is saying about throttling. Plus a sneak peek into Mastering the Rideshare Game Part 3. Uber's throttling system is sneakier than passengers changing the destination mid-trip. Let's start with what throttling really is and how it steals your money and your time. What Uber throttling really is. It's when Uber's algorithm deliberately slows you down, gives you less ride opportunities on purpose. Usually this happens when you reject a lot of these lowball offers or if you're making too much money per hour. Drivers call it Uber jail, shadow banning, ghost mode, or just timeout. It's real and it can cut your earnings by half without you even realizing it. Let me tell you a quick story how this happens to me every single day. By now, you know I love doing airport runs. I'd rather be at John Wayne Airport or LAX Airport versus picking up drunks late at night. I've spent so many hours at the airport queue, I should probably be paying rent there, or at least get my mail delivered to my parking spot. So here's my routine. I get to my spot at the airport, I turn the app's volume down, I grab my laptop out, and I start working. Now an hour has passed, my laptop battery is going down, and I take a look at the airport queue and it has barely moved. I mean, barely moved. That's when it hit me. Uber wasn't sleeping. it was throttling me and slowing me down at the airport. I started taking notes and I started writing down the patterns and the times and exactly when Uber was doing this to me, and that's where this video was born, or the idea for this video was born. Here's the truth, this happens all the time, but if you stay calm, keep yourself busy, learn from videos like this, Uber's algorithm's not going to be able to control you. Because here's the thing, once you understand how Uber's algorithm works, it cannot control you, right? And basically you learn to make Uber algorithm your little bitch. The point of this story is, which I might not have made it very clear, but because I was sitting in my car and I was working on my laptop, I was working on this YouTube channel, on this script, it didn't bother me that I was getting throttled, right? That's basically what I'm trying to communicate here with you. Stay calm, keep yourself busy, then the throttling's not gonna get under your skin. Have you ever run into a situation like that? No pings, the app goes silent, no rides are coming. Like, what do you do in a situation like that? I'm just wondering if you felt that the app forgot about you, got mad at you. Let me know in the comments, because this will help other drivers know how often this actually happens. So how do you actually see how and when this happens? Think of it like this. If your glasses are dirty and they're fogged up and it's hard for you to drive and it's hard for you to look and see where you're going because your glasses are all steamed up, foggy, or dirty, you basically can't see the road, right? Understanding Uber signs and patterns and throttling is like taking your glasses, cleaning them up, or your sunglasses, and making them nice and clear so you can actually see what's going on. Suddenly, everything just makes sense. You start seeing what the algorithm's been doing all along. Once you can see it, you can beat it. Let's talk about how to tell if you're being throttled, how to tell if you are being throttled. Let's figure out, how can you tell you're being throttled? Let's go through the signs, because once you see the signs, you can't really unsee them. It's like seeing your Uber earnings graph. Terrifying. It usually starts with silence. You reject 2 or 3, maybe 5 junk rides, and all of a sudden the Uber app gets quiet. That's not a coincidence. The Uber algorithm is throttling you and putting you in timeout for 15 minutes, sometimes longer. You might have noticed something slightly different. You have a passenger in the car, few minutes before you're about to drop them off, and you're getting ping after ping because you're distracted. But you drop off the passenger, you complete the ride, and you start looking at the algorithm for another ride, it goes silent. No more pings, no more trip radar offers. Boom, you got throttled again. Another classic example is at the airport. You get to the airport, you're waiting in the queue, it's barely moving. Another driver comes up after you, gets a ride, leaves, and you're still at the same spot in the queue. You got throttled because Uber just rewarded another driver for taking that $3 or $5 ride. The system is skipping you and rewarding somebody else. And throttling just doesn't depend on time and earnings. Sometimes it's regional. For example, one driver, Mr. Carmen Smith, lives on the border between Illinois and Wisconsin. He says Uber rarely sends him rides in Wisconsin unless he's already over there, while Lyft does the opposite. That shows that Uber may throttle you based on the location or the market boundaries and keep you at certain part of the map that benefits Uber and not you as a driver. Maybe you just finished a big surge ride and you made some fat money, right? And in that, all of a sudden, for 30 minutes, you get nothing. That's the Uber algorithm throttling you and slowing you down, cooling you off a little bit. Ever see those perfect rides that pop up and vanish before you can even click the accept button or the match button? That's Uber either throttling you or a driver is using a bot to snatch that ride, because as a human, you cannot make the decision on that particular ride fast enough. Sometimes Uber plays mind games. You accepted the ride, you matched for it, you're happy, you're on your way to pick up the customer, boom, it cancels. Uber said the passenger canceled. Yeah, right. $0 on the cancellation fee. This happens way too often for it to be a coincidence. And if you're using the destination mode, 100% you're gonna get throttled. First of all, Uber already limits you how long you can use the destination mode and how many times you can do it, because it can't control you. So only use destination mode when it is super busy. Otherwise, 99% you're getting throttled. It's the same thing when you turn Uber X preference off and you're trying to get an Uber XL ride or a comfort ride. The second you do that, you're gonna notice less offers are coming, less rides are coming, and you're getting throttled. The solution is simple, and I'll go over it later on in this video. You leave all preferences on. This way you can pick and choose which ride you want to take. But if you turn the Uber X preference off, the chances of you getting throttled go way up, up, and up. And sometimes the app just turns off. It just logs you off. You don't even realize it. I'm sitting here, I'm working, and then I look at the app and I'm like, what the hell? It's been 30 minutes. I haven't gotten a ride. What the hell's going on? I've been locked off, or it's doing some network test or something. Meaning it just didn't even warn you. You didn't even hit a doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. You heard nothing. It just logged you off. That's throttling. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and this is programmed right into the Uber algorithm. The shitty Uber algorithm. If this sounds familiar, you're not crazy. The algorithm is doing this, it's programmed in. And once you understand that, it changes the whole game. That's why this series is called Mastering the Uber Game. Information is power. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the reasoning and the logic behind why Uber actually does this and how it uses it to control the driver behavior. Why Uber throttles drivers. Now let's talk about why Uber throttles drivers. Once you understand the why, then you can play this game a little bit smarter. See, throttling isn't random. It's a part of Uber's algorithm, and that's how they play chess with you as a driver. Let me break it down for you. Number one, acceptance rate control. You reject too many rides, Uber basically flags you as low engagement. That means fewer pings, lower engagement, and longer wait times. Meanwhile, the driver next to you that says yes to everything keeps moving along and keeps getting offers. And some drivers think Uber even prioritizes certain modes. Johnny P said when he's in standard mode, throttling is obvious, but when he's in advantage mode, it disappears. That tells us Uber gives more ride priority to trusted drivers, possibly based on hidden status levels or internal scoring. Number two, profit protection. Uber delays certain drivers on purpose, and you might be wondering why? It's to frustrate you. At this point, I think the Uber algorithm's like one of my ex-wives. It ignores me for hours and then asks, "You up?" and then sends me a $4 ride. So it frustrates you and makes you want to accept rides out of desperation. That's how they make more margins, by manipulating your patience. Multiple drivers have mentioned that Uber caps you in order to keep you at a certain amount per hour. Alex Perez said when he's making $35 an hour, the app slows him until he's back down to near $20 to $25 an hour. Frank Else noted the same. Great rides come only at the end of a 12-hour shift, forcing him to grind longer just to hit $300. That's not random, that's profit control. The algorithm keeps everyone around the same average earnings, so the model stays predictable. Number 3, cherry picking Uber rides. If you are cherry picking and trying to take the best offers that benefit you, the algorithm is going to throttle you. The Uber system's going to slow you down because they are not able to control you and guide you, so the algorithm can make more money. In return, they're going to punish you for cherry picking rides. It didn't used to be like that. You used to be able to cherry pick just fine, but now it's getting harder and harder. And basically, cherry picking is a punishment these days. You can still get away with it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes on a Monday when the supply and demand is on our sides, but in general, it's getting harder and harder to cherry pick. Number 4, supply versus demand balancing. Uber rotates ride requests amongst drivers, so no one particular driver is controlling or getting the big surges. If you're making too much money too fast, the system cools you off, slows you down, so it can spread the wealth amongst other drivers. It's like the app saying, "Slow down, champ. Let one of the others drivers eat also." And I've said this in plenty of my other videos. Most of my videos, algorithm is programmed to keep you at $17 an hour or lower. Number 5, idle time flags. Basically, if you're parked at a location and you're there for a long time, the algorithm just decides to just leave you there. So that's one less driver they have to worry about. And basically, it's going to try to give you or keep you at that spot. So when an Uber Eats order comes or a reservation comes, you as a driver at the right place at the right time to make Uber more money. And I've seen them do this because sometimes in my WhatsApp community, a driver will say, "I had a reservation, I was on my way, I was 5 minutes away," and boosh, boom, gone. The reservation is gone. That's because Uber took that reservation from you and gave it to another driver and kept the money in the middle for itself. I've personally tested this idle time flag all the time. When I'm at the airport, I drive by and visually with my eye, I look at how many passengers are there. I count 40 passengers waiting for an Uber ride. Then I look at the app, and in the app at the airport queue, it shows 40 drivers are waiting. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. But it still takes me over an hour to get an Uber ride. Why is Uber doing that? That's throttling. And I'll tell you why they're doing that. They're doing that because they want to frustrate the passengers, they want to frustrate the drivers, so they make all the money in the middle, right? Passengers are angry or they're upset. Why isn't Uber coming? They're tired at the airport. They're willing to pay a little bit of extra money just to get a ride and go home. Number 6, surge manipulation. I kind of went over this on my last tip already, but basically Uber is forcing the passenger to pay for the surge, give a little bit of it to the driver, manipulate the situation, and take advantage of both the driver and the passenger. You see, when it pretends that a passenger needs a ride and there are not enough drivers, it creates an artificial surge, it creates an urgency, and it takes advantage of both of us. And the catch in this situation is the passenger pays more, the drivers, we don't make anything extra. Uber keeps the difference. And the point I made earlier is the passengers are tired, they came from a long flight, they just want to go home, so they're willing to pay that amount. Number 7, vehicle class control. If you are like me and you drive a car that is available to all the preferences, right? It's an SUV, it can fit 8 people, it can be used for Uber XL, it can be used for Uber Comfort, it can be used for Uber X, it can be used for Uber Pet, it can be used for Uber deliveries. Basically, you have 8 or 9 different preferences that you can use that car for. Sometimes Uber will just send us the shorter and smaller rides in order to keep us with a bigger car close to the airport so we're available for later on when the big wave of rides come. This is why they're going to throttle you. By 12 o'clock in the afternoon, when all the major flights have come in and it's going to start to slow down from 1, 2, 3, maybe till 4 o'clock, now it'll release and give you the bigger ride and stop throttling you. But on purpose, it's giving you the little ride so it keeps you close to the airport. Like I said, you're being moved like a pawn in the game of chess. Number 8, behavioral manipulation. Have you ever noticed after waiting 45 minutes, hour, sometimes in my case 90 minutes, all of a sudden you get a decent offer? That's Uber slowly reeling you back in. They starve you just about long enough so when a ride comes in, you just jump on it and you take it without thinking, like a zombie, like a machine, like a robot. In my experience, I've noticed 60 minutes to 90 minutes is typical time that I can be patient in order to get a ride from Uber. After 90 minutes, I've noticed Uber gives up. It can't keep up with me sitting here working in my car. So from 90 minutes to 2 hours, generally I always get a decent ride because think about it. If it hasn't given me a ride for 90 minutes to 2 hours, it's lost all that money. So eventually it just gives in and it gives you a ride. And that's what I'm talking about. Some drivers say that Uber times your big rides in order to manipulate your day. Like Frank else shared, he often gets small rides for 10 hours, then big fares only near the end, just enough to keep him online longer. That's time-based throttling, designed to stretch your shift and maximize Uber's driver supply. And remember one thing, if you're not driving, you're not making money, Uber's not making money. So in an ideal world, in a perfect world, if enough of us started, driving the way I'm teaching you guys, we can get Uber. But it's so hard to get everyone to be on the same page. But just you watching my channel, if you start taking some of the information I'm sharing and start driving the way I do, every 1% will go to 2%, will go to 4%, will go to 8%. And in the long run, it will make a difference. Just sit in your car, work on a business or, learn a new skill and slow the algorithm down. If you're not making money, it's not making money. Eventually, the Uber CEO is probably going to get in trouble and they'll have to make the adjustments. It just takes time. Basically, the algorithm's the boss. If you slow it down and you reject too many rides, it's going to try to control you by putting you into a timeout. So yeah, Uber does kind of decide how much you make, but if you let it. Number 9. The Uber X preference was turned off by accident, and you're wondering why you're not getting any rides. This is my bad. This has actually happened to me and a few drivers in the WhatsApp community where we laugh about it. Like you're sitting there, you're working and no rides are coming, and then I look, oops, Uber X was turned off. So if that's happened to you, let me know in the comments. We can laugh at it together because we turn the X off, X on. Like I turn Uber X off when it's busy. When it's not busy, I turn it on. And sometimes I forget. Now I want to remind you that I really want to hear from you. If you've been slowed down, if you've been throttled, if Uber's put you in timeout, let me know how it happened, when it happened, so we can help other drivers. Look, I always ask you guys to leave a comment because other drivers, especially the ones that are newer, read the comments and they learn. The faster we educate each other and the faster we drive with having some sort of system, the easier it is to beat this algorithm. Like we have to work like a hive mind. The truth is simple. Uber throttling is not punishment, it's pure control. But every control system has a weakness. And in the next part, I will show you exactly, finally, how to break free from it. Like how to unplug from the matrix. Let's talk about how to beat Uber throttling And once and for all, if you look at the top left corner of the screen recording that I have for you, it shows around 8:57 I turned the app on. Now, I'm gonna speed this video up so in 2 minutes while I'm speaking to you, you can kind of see how Uber throttles you. First thing you're gonna notice is by the time I get the ride, 2.5 hours have gone by. And that's the number one thing I want you to understand. I'm at home, I'm sitting, I'm recording this video, I'm editing this video, and I don't mind waiting 2.5 hours, because if Uber's not gonna pay me to get out of the house, I'm not gonna leave. And eventually, after 2.5 hours, the ride that I got was for $11 to go 30 minutes, 14 miles, but I was gonna end up right by the airport when at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, a lot of flights are coming in and I know I can cherry pick. And that's exactly what happened. After 2.5 hours, right? So the throttling is irrelevant for me, because 2 hours of me waiting with the app on at home, I'm just sitting and working, right? So it doesn't bother me. That's one thing I really want you to understand, how I beat Uber throttling. And this is the perfect example for that. And let me tell you a little bit about how much I made. $11, or roughly 12 if you round it up, to get to the airport. Within 15-20 minutes from the airport, I got a $28 ride. I ended up by Disneyland. So now I'm at $40 in 2 rides. Then I got another $15 ride and I ended up by Commerce Casino. And currently I'm at $55. But in 2.5 hours, I just drove, made my money. My goal is to get close to $150 today. But if I don't, this video is way more important. And this is what I wanted to explain to you. It's perfect time, because I'm going to talk about the 9 solutions. This is how I beat the Uber algorithm. I throttled Uber. Do you get it? Uber tries to throttle me. I throttle Uber because I only turn it on when I need to. Right now, where I'm at recording this part of the video, the second half of the video, right? The solutions. It's around 3:15 p.m. There's traffic everywhere. I don't need to go drive. I'm gonna take the next 2 hours, record, edit. Then around 5:30, when I'm ready to go home, I'm only gonna take a ride that's gonna start taking me home. I might not hit $150 today, but that is okay. Even if I get close to $100, it's good enough, because Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the focus is to focus on this channel to create content for you, and Uber is secondary, right? The YouTube channel is first, which is your side hustle. And then whatever Uber brings in, Uber is literally paying me $100 to $150 to grow my channel and to grow my content. And that's it. Now let's get into the solutions. Can you do me a quick little favor? 10,000 subscribers. I am grateful. But there's 33,000 of you that visit my channel on a regular basis every month. That means 80% of you are ghosting me or throttling me. Do me a favor, just double check and see if you're subscribed. It would mean a lot to me, and it will encourage and motivate me to keep exposing Fuber. How to beat Uber throttling. Now that you know how Uber throttles drivers, let's talk about how to beat it. Because once you understand the game, you can little bit outsmart the algorithm and play this game a little bit better. Here are 9 proven ways to beat this game. Number 1, multi-app strategy. Don't let Uber hold you hostage just to the Uber platform. Run Lyft, run DoorDash, Instacart, Spark, whatever works for you, go ahead and multi-app. The goal is simple. Keep moving, keep driving, and keep bringing that money in. You don't have to be stuck on one platform. Uber cannot throttle the apps that it cannot control. Some drivers, especially in my WhatsApp community, do this all the time. They'll turn Uber on, they'll turn Lyft on, and they'll take a ride with Uber. As they are going to pick up the passenger, a better offer comes with Lyft. They save their cancels and cancel on Uber and take the better offer from Lyft. Don't be afraid of doing that. But remember, you can't cancel all the time. You want to keep your cancellation rate to less than 5% if possible. So save your cancels, but don't be afraid to cancel to beat throttling. But here's something wild. Make the adjustment. said sometimes he'll go 30 minutes with 0 requests. Then out of nowhere, both Uber and Lyft hit him with rides at the exact same time. That basically means even though you are multi-apping, these algorithms and apps are actually talking to each other. They're synchronizing their throttling. Still, multi-apping gives you a little bit more control so you can slow the throttling down a little bit. Number 2, force close reset trick. I've shown this one time before in one of my previous videos. When things go quiet for too long, just reset the system. Close the app completely, clear the cache, clear the storage, even think about restarting your phone. Wait 15 minutes to turn your phone back on and then turn the Uber or Lyft app back on. It's like you are unplugging from the matrix and then plugging back in at your own time so you have the control. And I'm not the only one doing this. People have commented about this on my YouTube channel, and people in my WhatsApp community do this all the time. We actually talk about it. So I know firsthand this works by just resetting the phone and clearing the cache on Uber. Try it. Let me know in the comments if it worked for you or not. Number 3, sacrificial trip. Sometimes you gotta just feed the beast. Take a short $10 ride to make up with the Uber algorithm. I call it basically you're making peace with the app. Once you do that, normally the flow gets back and the rides start coming, and sometimes the bigger offers start coming. The point is very simple. It's okay once in a while to take a shitty ride because you're driving for a shitty algorithm and a shitty company. It's okay. It's okay. Number 4, change your location. It is okay to drive 5 to 7 miles away from where you've been waiting and you're getting throttled. Use a little bit of dead miles. It's okay. Once you leave one location and go to another location, there's a chance if there was a ride at that particular location that Uber is hanging on to, or it's a wait and save ride where the passenger's trying to wait and save money, Uber just might open it up and give it to you right when you start moving. And my rule of thumb is very simple. Wait 15-20 minutes. If the apps aren't showing up, even the $3 apps, then I move my car 15-20 minutes later. I go another 5-7 miles. I wait and then I rinse and repeat. Basically, you might be going to a new city. You might be ending up in a new county. You're basically ending up a brand new zone. This sometimes doesn't work early in the morning because there's not enough drivers. So Uber will pull you 10-15 miles in order to give you a ride. A small move can trigger the app to give you newer offers. If the airport is throttling you, very simple. Just go a few miles away, maybe 3 or 4 miles, so you're outside of the airport queue, and then turn the app back on and see what happens. For me, 8 out of 10 times, if I leave the queue and just go a few miles away, rides start coming. They start flowing right in. Number 5, the airport rematch trick. This absolutely works. What I do is when I leave the airport and I go 5 or 6 miles away, I wait until I get a ride back to the airport. Once I drop off the passenger at the airport, I'm ready for that rematch opportunity. And when the rematch opportunity comes, I make sure it's a short ride, 3-4 miles away from the airport again, so I can just rinse and repeat and keep doing that. Now you've completely bypassed the airport queue. I'll give you an example. When I end up by LAX airport and it's around 2 o'clock, then from 2 to around 5, sometimes 6 o'clock, that's all I do. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. $10 here, $15 here, get another $5 tip, and I make my money. Then around 5:36, when the traffic is gonna start slowing down, I want to get that big ride so I can get a big ride going home. So use this airport rematch trick if it's available in your market. Number 6, toggle ride types. Basically, In the preferences, make sure everything is turned on. UberX is on, Uber Pet is on, Uber Delivery is on, Uber Eats is on, Uber Comfort is on, UberXL is on. Every opportunity or preference that it gives you, turn it all on. This is when it's slow and it's throttling you. It will increase your chances of getting a ride. Then do the opposite. When it's very busy and you're getting $3 rides, $4 rides, $5 rides, at that particular time, turn some of these preferences off so you can force it to give you a comfort ride or an Uber XL ride. Number 7, manage your acceptance rate and cancellation rate. I briefly talked about this already, but I'll break it down for you a little bit more. Your acceptance rate in California, it doesn't matter. But recently somebody commented on my YouTube videos and said their acceptance rate dropped below 85% and they couldn't see the price and the upfront information that Uber gives, and it completely messed him up. And he was cherry picking, he was following my videos, and he got upset. And I said, my apologies, because in my market, acceptance rate doesn't really matter that much, right? We have just so many offers coming in. But if in your market, acceptance rate matters in order for you to see the upfront pricing, then you got to keep it over 85%. My current acceptance rate is probably around 15 or 16%. Cancellation rate, I can tell you this much. If your cancellation rate goes over 10%, sometimes closer to 15%, the chances of you getting deactivated are pretty high. I've read numerous comments on my YouTube videos where people said their acceptance rate was around 13 or 14% and Uber deactivated them, and they're asking me how I can help them. Well, it's kind of late to do that, right? I keep my cancellation rate at about 1 or 2%, which allows me to cancel when I take a shitty ride, right? I don't do it that often, but at least once a week I'll cancel so I can put myself in a better position. Let me give you one small example. I'm at the airport. I took a $15 ride just to stay close, and as I'm pulling up to the airport, I see it's a zoo of passengers. There's 30 passengers at Terminal A, there's 40 passengers at Terminal B. At that moment, I realized, no, I don't want to take a $15 ride. There's a $50 to $100 ride sitting here. Cancel. I'll go back out, wait till it's my turn, and land myself something big. Does it always happen? No. Sometimes I get screwed because when you cancel, Uber's going to throttle you. That's just built in. But I've realized from canceling and from Uber throttling, it's normally like within 15, 20 minutes, it'll free you up. Then it'll give you a couple of rides. And then again, for 15, 20 minutes, it'll throttle you. So it wakes up after 15, 20 minutes. Number 8, drive an EV. Now, you might not believe me, but check this and try this at your local airport, right? Go sit and park and look when the cars are going and when you're being throttled. Notice how many EV cars are going, right? People in my WhatsApp community that drive EVs never complain about being throttled. And if you recently noticed, Uber gave you a message in the inbox that said if you switch and you get an EV, they'll give you a $4,000 credit. And if you end up being a diamond driver, right? There's some stupid shit they're doing. I ignore all those inbox messages, right? Even the driver insight, I don't even look at that crap, right? But people get worried about it. But my point is very simple. Driving an EV does help because, think about it. They're going to go and have robots driving and replacing us. It's already happening in California. So the more EVs that are available for Uber and Lyft, the more information and data they have so they can, make their artificial intelligence a little bit better. Number 9, have a better car. Believe it or not, I drive a 2021 Toyota Highlander. And people ask me this in the comments all the time. I think I need to put it in my description. I've answered this question so many times. But my point is this. I have a big car that can fit 8 people. Or the seats in the back row can come down and can fit a lot of bags. So I qualify for Uber XL. I qualify for Comfort. I qualify for Uber X. I qualify for Uber Eats, deliveries. You know the drill, right? But my point is this. Because I have a bigger car, Uber likes to give me certain opportunities just because make their passengers feel a little bit better. For example, somebody new to the Uber platform, Uber's gonna give them a free upgrade from an Uber X ride to automatically be an Uber XL ride or a comfort ride because I qualify for both. The passenger is gonna pay for Uber X, they're gonna get the big ride, Uber's gonna keep the money, we're gonna get screwed as a driver. And that's my point. Having a better car will give you more rides and you might get throttled a little bit less. Now, why does Uber do that? Uber does that because when a passenger is new to Uber platform, they want them to sit in the new car and the nice car and the bigger car just so they have a better customer experience, right? That's it. It's all about getting that passenger hooked. And once that passenger is hooked, then they're going to nail them with the heavy prices. Another time Uber does this is if they have a customer or a rider that uses Uber all the time for business or for whatever reason, they use Uber a lot. Uber will once in a while give them, if they order an Uber X, give them a Comfort or XL upgrade and give them the better drivers. My driving right now with Uber with over 14,000 rides with Uber is I'm a 5.0 rated driver, right? I keep a clean car and Uber knows that I'm a very good, very safe driver, probably one of the best and safe drivers out in the California market. So Uber wants to reward its better customers with me as the driver and the customer service I provide because it makes the Uber brand look better. Now, all these tips will help you survive with the Uber algorithm and the throttling. But the real power and freedom comes when you don't have to depend on Uber or Lyft at all. When you are ready to build your own rideshare company and take a break from these $3 or $4 or $5 rides that Uber and Lyft are offering you, check out my course. It's the first link in the description, how to start your own rideshare business. I teach you exactly how to take the best passengers that Uber has and turn them into your own private clients. Real freedom, real control, no more middleman. That is how you take your power back. This week, I made over $1,000 outside of Uber in only 7 trips. That's definitely averaging over $100 an hour. First link in the description, how to start your own rideshare business. Beating Uber's throttling is just the beginning. Next, we're gonna turn that information and knowledge into power, which equals wisdom. I will show you how to get Uber to work for you, not against you. What this means for your daily strategy. Now you know what throttling is, you kind of know how to beat throttling. Now let's talk about what it means for your daily game plan. The truth is, Uber throttling is not something you can beat 100%, but you can outsmart it every single day. Here's how. Learn to be patient and learn to be strategic. Don't just drive aimlessly and take every single opportunity and end up at random places. Have a plan. Go where from one location you end up to another location where there's a demand. Just don't go anywhere that Uber's trying to push you to. Memorize in your head certain areas that you're willing to go and take a ride because you know you're going to be able to get another ride and you're not going to get throttled. And memorize the areas that you don't want to go to. Even if Uber's offering you $15 or $20, it's not worth it. You're going to get paid $20 to go 20 miles and then nothing, and then you're going to have to come back another 10, 15 miles and waste another half an hour. So essentially, you might be making $15 or $20, but it's a round trip. You're going to go there and you're going to come all the way back. Learn to plan your day and avoid those situations. I mentioned dead miles a few times in this video. If you don't understand what that term is, or if you would like me to make a video about when you should do dead miles, which is basically the passenger's not in your car, you have no offers, and you're moving your car, right? Doesn't matter how far you're gonna go. There's times I'll go 5 or 10 miles, sometimes I'll go 20 miles, sometimes I'll go 40 miles, right? Know when to do that, when not to do that. Let me know in the comments, and I'll consider making that video if enough of you ask. And I love asking you to comment in the comments, because 7-8 of you just recently commented that you want me to make a video about my jab hooks strategy for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And guess what? I've already recorded a video, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So if you want to know about dead miles, or if you want me to talk about a particular subject, like somebody recently said, hey, make us a video of all your bloopers. And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea, because I make a lot of mistakes. So I started collecting all my videos so I can make one bloopers video for you guys. Use the Uber Rider app as your secret weapon. You can literally see how many other drivers are around you. If your Uber Rider app is full of little car icons all around you, it's a bad location for you to be at, because you're gonna get throttled. Just move, like I've been showing you in this video. Move 5 miles, go to your next hot location, and then just sit there and wait and make sure there's not more than 4 or 5 Uber drivers around you in the Uber Rider app. The best Uber drivers know when the algorithm is hot. Like literally, it's hot right now. It's 102 degrees. And they position themselves before the algorithm's gonna peak and a lot of offers are coming. They're at the location before the surge even pops up. That is how you ride the wave instead of chasing it. You wanna be ahead and be at the right location at the right time, and then be patient so you get the best opportunity for you. And if you don't know how to do that, above in the info card, I've linked the first video of this series, Mastering the Uber Game. Episode number 1, the jab hook, where I teach you how to do this and what the best windows are. Go ahead and check that out, but after this video. Learn to drive with data, not emotions. Create a simple doc or have a notebook. Every day when you're out driving, just take some basic notes. I went to this city, I went to this location, I went at this time, it was hot, it was good. Oh, I got a ride to this city, I got a ride to this location, I ended up over here, there was too much traffic, it wasn't good. Write down the places you're willing to go to, write down the places you're not willing to go to. And if you keep it in a Google Docs, then you can take that information, put it in Google Gemini, which is artificial intelligence, or put it in ChatGPT, and just keep a little journal. After maybe 3-4 weeks of doing this every single day, you'll have 30 or 40 entries in there. Then get ChatGPT or Google Gemini to take your data, take your information, and give you a game plan. That is not science fiction. That is driver evolution. Combine Uber throttling, which is this video, and the last video, which I teach you the jab hook. That, my friends, is the ultimate combo. You control your day instead of Uber controlling you. You make smarter moves, waste less time, and turn the quiet times or slow times into opportunities. Let me know in the comments if you have a solution for throttling and you would like to share it with the community. I will make sure I take your comment and something new that I learned, and I'll put it at the end, the final video of the series, and share that knowledge and information with other drivers. Just let me know in the comments below, how do you beat throttling? What is it that you do that works for you? Up next, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and give you a little bit of a recap. And also, I will go over what the professional Uber YouTube channels and experts have to say about throttling, so you can see that you're not alone in this game. Summary and recap. Before I wrap up this video, let's see what the rideshare community has to say. Because this isn't just happening to you or happening to me, it's happening to all the drivers. The rideshare guys, Harry Campbell and Sergio Avidian, have to say this. They've both confirmed that the timeouts are real. After too many declines, they put the Uber drivers or Lyft drivers into a penalty zone. No pings, no surges, no movement, just silence. Dustin is driving, calls it the Uber games. He's done multiple videos and shown how after big rides or big surges, the drivers get starved and get nothing but junk rides. Torsten, the fabulous professor, he has been warning about shadow banning for years. Drivers who reject too many rides or cancel too often suddenly just disappear from the algorithm. They are still online, but they are invisible. Levi from Tip You in the app broke it down perfectly. He said Uber throttling feels like Uber slowing down your day. Not enough to notice it right away, but enough for you to question yourself after a few hours of slow time. Even the mainstream media is catching on this. Wired, Business Insider, and Bloomberg have all covered Uber's algorithmic control, how they tweak driver behavior with data, bonuses, and subtle punishment loops. Even more, thousands of drivers in online forums and in the comments section are sharing identical stories. It's not theory anymore. It's pattern confirmed reality. The message is clear. You are not alone. That's just the way how the Uber and Lyft system and algorithm works. Quick recap. Uber throttling equals the algorithmic slowing drivers down. You can recognize it after big rides, too many declines, or sudden silence. It's driven by profit control, acceptance rate, and behavior manipulation. Drivers all over the country have tested it and proved it's real. But the good news, you can fight back. Use multi-apping, resets, smart positioning, and patience. You can't beat Uber just by luck. The way you beat Uber and Lyft is through understanding how the system and how the algorithm works, so you use it for your advantage. Now you understand the throttle games. What if you could predict exactly where the money rides are coming from? That's what I'm covering in part 3 of Mastering the Uber Game. Finding your cherry picking spots. Maybe it's Costco, maybe it's Walmart, but I'll tell you, doesn't matter if you're in a smaller market or a bigger market. I've done a deep dive research, and I'll tell you, in any market, what are the best locations you can go to in order to beat Uber throttling and get the big rides, just because you know how to find the right location. And if you want to help with that video, let me know in the comments of this video what some of your locations are, and I would love to add that in part 3. If this video helped you, consider sharing it with another driver who's out there grinding and driving blind. Check the video on the screen to watch part 3 or rewatch part 1, the jab jab hook strategy, so you can see how it all connects. Let's master this game together. God bless you, and we're just getting started.